Who exactly is on the Tal'dorei Council?
The council, huh?
Who's on the council?
Who's on the council?
Can you give us like a list?
Who would that be?
Do you have a roster?
She teleports away.
Last thing, do you happen to know any of the members of the Tal'dorei Council?
You wouldn't happen to know who's on the Tal'dorei Council?
Wow.
Who's the council of Tal'dorei?
The king steps forward. Don't make me roll initiative here.
Maybe she would have a good idea.
Do you know
about
anyone
where
on
we
the Tal'dorei Council? Because we could, besides Allura, because we could have it there.
Do you
as
know
well.
what the Tal'dorei Council is? Because people keep saying that to me, and I've got no idea what it is.
I know.
Who's on the Tal'dorei Council?
Every time you
There
ask,
are-
somebody on it dies.
Oh! Who's on the Tal'dorei Council?
You hear a distant scream as another falls dead.
I don't suppose the Tal'dorei Council rings a bell.
Who's on Tal'dorei Council? She's got her own responsibilities on the Tal'dorei Council with 6, 7, 8 other members of the council. I'm not quite sure the numbers.
Well, I could read you a list of names from the campaign setting, but there's a bit more to it than that. Let's start things off with a quick overview of the council itself. First established by Sovereign Zan Tal'dorei when the Empire was founded, it consists of 6 members, and a 7th in times of war, each working under the Sovereign to advise and watch over their respective domains. After multiple crises shook his faith in a single ruler holding power over all Tal'dorei, Sovereign Uriel chose to step down and place the council as leaders in his stead. The most well-known member is Arcanist Allura Vysoren, Master of Arcana. She was granted the position after her defeat of Thordak around 794 PD, and has held it ever since. As Master of Arcana, she is in charge of all matters involving the strange and magical, as well as overseeing the lawful use of spellcraft. Next, we have the Master of Commerce, in charge of the budget as well as working with merchant guilds and negotiating trade deals. Shortly before Tal'dorei transitioned to a republic, Coinmaster Riskel Daxio held the position before being executed for conspiring with the Briarwoods. After the Chroma Crisis, the role was filled by Coin Mistress Hannah Wissarin, former master of the Onyx Banner, a major shipping guild within Amon. She held this position until being replaced by Lady Vexalia de Rolo of Whitestone. It's unclear whether Wassarin stepped down, died, or if she was challenged in an election, if such a thing is even possible, but by 836 PD, Vex had become Coin Mistress. The Master of Defense is in charge of the city guard of Amon and mobilizes troops within the country outside of wartime. Sir Gregory Fintz held the position, but was killed by demons while investigating a plot to assassinate Sovereign Uriel. He was replaced by Guardian Tofor Brotores, a paladin of the Platinum Dragon, who held the position through the Chroma Crisis up to the current era. The Master of Development oversees construction within Amon and allocating resources to the other cities of the Republic. Hearthmaker Theodorn Kraz held the position through the end of the Empire and the Chroma Crisis, having replaced his predecessor Lornak Scythe when they were removed for involvement with the Thieves' Guild known as the Clasp. Theodorn himself was replaced by Edelburn Cleareyes, a Goliath of the Rivermaw herd and a skilled architect who helped in the rebuilding of Westron. Cleareyes is probably the youngest member of the council, although Seeker Odessa Tal'dorei may be the same age or a bit younger. As the Master of Information, she oversees foreign diplomacy and is the head of Tal'dorei's spy network. Asim Emrig held the position under Uriel, her father, in the early days of the Republic, but stepped down to mentor Odessa as his replacement after she won the seat in a landslide. Finally, we have the Master of Law, High Judge of Amon and the Republic. General Krieg held the position before he was revealed to be a blue dragon and killed by Vox Machina. That means that half of the council was killed in the year leading up to them becoming the sole rulers of Tal'dorei, 2 of whom were actively working with major villains. I don't know if the council was that much better at avoiding manipulation than a single sovereign, not that Uriel had much time to regret his choice. Arbiter Brom Goldhand is the current Master of Law, having held the position since before the Chroma Crisis. Well, those are the 6 permanent positions of the Tal'dorei Council. In times of strife, the Council elects a Master of War, who becomes leader of the military, assembling an army from the city guards and town militias across the Republic. During the Chroma Crisis, Mikhail Daxio was War Master. It's unknown if any other War Masters have been named since, although Daxio himself has retired from military life following his murder by a vampire. Don't worry, he got better. General L. Gorgathon is his replacement at Fort Daxio, although the council could elect anyone as Master of War, even if she's the most likely candidate. But while those are the 6 to 7 masters, that's not everyone on the council. We also have the ambassadors to Amon. These aren't ambassadors in the most traditional sense, but instead full members of the council with voting power, representing the major cities of Tal'dorei. Any city in the Republic with a population of at least 20,000 can appoint an ambassador. Most don't meet this cutoff, only Western and Kymel, as well as Amon itself, although it's unclear if they also get an ambassador since the council represents Amon. I personally lean towards no. While Western has been a major city for quite some time, Kymel grew rapidly between 812 and 836 PD, from a population of 8,000 to 29,000. If we assume a linear population growth, which is a very big if, considering that there would have been massive shifts following the end of the Chroma Crisis, then it reached that 20,000 cutoff around 825 PD. Similarly, if we assume that all of the cities have been growing linearly, then by 843 PD, the era of Campaign 3, Whitestone will have grown large enough to have an ambassador as well. None of the other cities are particularly close, with Stillben, the next largest, needing to double in size to hit the mark. In addition to the ambassadors from the major cities of the Republic, we also have 3 ambassadors from some of the close allies. Sildor Visar is ambassador for Singorn, Deirdre Greyspine for Craghammer, and Keyleth, the voice of the Tempest, represents the Ashari. All 3 ambassadors have voting power on the council, but remain independent of the Republic at large. While Singorn and Craghammer both hit that 20,000 mark, the Ashari don't, unless Pyra and Vesser are much larger than their sister towns. Instead, these ambassador seats are more representative of the close ties these allies hold. Byradin in the Mornsec countryside, or Lyrengorn to the north, are the most likely other additions to the council as allies, but they're both much smaller in population. What it means they don't have an ambassador, and what would have to change to get one, is definitely getting outside the bounds of this video. In the Age of the Republic, the members of the council are elected by popular vote from those cities that are large enough to merit an ambassador. Technically written, this includes Craghammer and Singorn, but I think it's reasonable to assume only actual citizens of the Republic get a vote. In 836 PD, this means only Amon, Western, and Kymel are eligible to vote for the council, and a whopping 80% of the vote comes from Amon, although that doesn't mean it isn't representative. Amon is 75% of the population, so they'd still have a landslide even if villages as small as the Shale Steppes got to vote. It's unclear whether the ambassadors themselves are elected. They're appointed by their cities, but that could be by local government rather than a popular vote. Still, there's enough of a representative democracy for the Republic to earn its name. There we have it, the 11 members of the Tal'dorei Council, or 12 if Amon has an ambassador, with 1 seat open for the Master of War and another up-and-coming for Whitestone. But that's still not everyone on the Tal'dorei Council. Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. You see, in addition to the council, we also have the Delegates. This is a body of elected representatives from every city and town that hits at least 5,000 population, with 1 delegate for every 5,000. While they don't have a vote on the council, they petition and draft proposals and are part of the main government. Both Craghammer and Singorn have only a single delegate, despite their size, as allied members, and we know the delegate for Singorn, Keljaya Uloa, who originally comes from the tribes of the Rife and Mist jungles. While the others may not be named, we can figure out how many of them there are. At the start of the Republic, in 812 PD, the vast majority of delegates would be from Amon, with a total of 57. Western would have 5, and Stillben and Kymel 1 each. By 836 PD, we would see Amon grow to 73 delegates, Western double to 10, Kymel have 5, Stillben 2, and Whitestone joining with 3, having rapidly grown in size as they recovered from the Briarwoods occupation. Realistically, I don't know if we'd actually see that many delegates be elected from Amon. That's 7 per district, and that isn't giving them more power, since the delegates only propose motions, with the council doing the actual voting. Instead, I could see these seats doubling as city government positions, where delegates have control over what happens within Amon, as well as working underneath the council, compared to delegates from outside the city working solely to write proposals and petition. This is probably getting too into the weeds of a system that was never designed to make sense. But what else am I here for? 6 to 7 masters, another 5 to 6 ambassadors, and 93 delegates. That's every member of the Tal'dorei Council, except for Vox Machina, who were made honorary members after saving the Sovereign and his family twice in one holiday season. I'm pretty sure they don't get voting power. Although if they did, would Vex and Keyleth get 2 votes each? Gilmore is also apparently a secret member. I'm not really sure what that means, but a crime lord said it, so it must be true. Maybe he's the ambassador to Amon. It kind of suits him. That does it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you got any better idea what Gilmore's secret title may be. Master of being cool? Yeah, I've got nothing.